Is this not a universal? Sunrises and beaches and deserts and rain. Rain is a universal, and the sun and moon, though not every day. These are the only truths to be held manifest. This and blood in our veins, no other body parts, or a few, blood, brains, livers, intestines, guts, but not all of them. These are the universals. Arms and legs, not universal. Heads and torsos, universal. There are very few guarantees. We all need water to survive. We do not need language to survive, at least not words. We cannot all hear or speak or walk or read. We cannot all anything. But we do contain blood and guts and a brain contained in a head and a torso. These are the modicums of survival. This is universal. The night sky is universal. Stars are not a universal experience. The moon, perhaps. Rain, though not every day. I am the universal human. I have blood, guts, water in my body, but I do not have eyes or voice or feet or hands. I do not have hair. I have urethra. I piss. I have no teeth. I have mouth. Ingestion, key, I consume, a universal, the key universal. I consume for my survival. We are consumers, the universal consumer. I transform, universal, for survival. I absorb, the habit. This is a universal, that we live until we are dead. Children are strange and deadly creatures. They kill mothers and fathers and siblings and friends. Children are the neediest of needy. Children are half-baked humans. Children are legally insane. These are all the things I hear on the news and radio programs and social media. The internet tells me this is true, and journalists and sociologists and neuroscientists concur. If I mention TED Talks in This American Life, will you believe this is a universal document? Will it become dated? Should I even mention social media? Or should I just say media? Should I just say information outlets? Are information outlets universal? Are journalists universal? Journalists are as universal as anthropologists. They are everywhere, although not every day. Journalists are like bees, disseminating and redistributing information. So we may consume. To consume is universal. When I was 12, someone whispered, "When was the last time?" it asked. I asked, "When was the last time?" The last time the last time we owned, or a house, or went to church, or bought, or heard gunshots, or rode ATVs in the desert sunset, or visited, or grandma lived with us, or starved ourselves, or killed a mouse in a glue trap and watched it cry and defecate itself and flushed it down the toilet hole. When was the last time a waterfall was in the backyard, or wild turkeys ate the garden, or soap was rusted on the branches and the deer ignored the warnings, or the raccoons ate the garbage, or you ran over a possum, or we saw the dog with a human head cross the rural highway and turned to look at us, even though it never happened and we both saw it in our minds? And when was the last time you wore that wig and sang your songs on stage and threw your wig into the crowd and screamed and picked your face and worked out to be strong and murder the perpetrators? And when was the last time someone needed to be somewhere where they could do no harm? Is there a universal place where you can do no harm? Is it prison? It is not prison. Is it death? It is not death. We bleed our toxic lives into the soil, and as we die, we kill all that surrounds us. No, it is not death. That is a universal, harmless space to occupy to rid society of your shame. When was the last time your father was a pastor and he laid hands on you and choked you in order to cure you of the affliction that is puberty? When was the last time your father, when my father was a pastor and stole everything that was the devil from my life, and so he stole my life for I was the devil? And when was the last time you had a tattoo? And when was the last time you had a tattoo emblazoned on your back? And when was the last time this tattoo emblazoned on your back said love is pain? And when was the last time you were in love? And have you ever been in love since the last time you had the tattoo love is pain emblazoned on your back? And when was the last time that I looked in your face, and this face is not recognizable, and this face cannot be recognized, and this face is universal, and it is so universal it can't be seen? And when was the last time I looked at you and saw your mother? And when was the last time we thought we knew the difference? And when was the last time there was no surveillance, and there was no recognition, and this face is a blank, it is a neutral brown, and it is universal, and this mouth is no fuller than yours, and this ass is smaller than yours, and bigger than yours, and these eyes are dark just like all of yours? When was the last time you asked if these shells were formed where your family is from, and I asked if your family was from Connecticut or Rhode Island or Maine or Texas or California or Oregon, and I told you their sand is imported every year replenished? And when you asked from where, I said over there, from the other universal island, For isn't this all the Americas, this island, the Americas, this isolated place, this isolated land that is an islandless Americas, where everything is imported from overseas and every child needs a warm coat, so we make children make them for our own so they can buy them for themselves. Because every child needs a warm coat. It is a universal. Like blood and water and the moon, only maybe the moon, but definitely the sun, because you can feel the rays of the sun. Can you feel the rays of the moon? Is feeling universal? Are there people who can't feel? Are they sociopaths? Is this logic? And if you didn't experience it, can you understand? And is sympathy empathy, and is empathy simpático, and is simpático some hippie shit that the Spanish understood first? And do the First Nations and First Peoples know and understand? And if their languages are lost, do we lose the knowing that is the feeling that is knowing someone without knowing? And if the Germans knew and have the word, does that mean we cannot know or translate? Can we not translate everything, certainly the Germanic into English, even if it is just a feeling that is knowledge without knowing, even if it is knowing without having to tell a word to anyone?